Hi everyone, welcome to the session. So in this session, we are going to discuss another topic in the high availability, which is availability zones. So far we have discussed some high availability options in Azure. The first one is availability sets. The second option is going to be AJ, and right after this, we will discuss about VMSS, and another topic would be ASR. So availability sets we have already discussed. Now let's focus on the AS limitation. So if let's say my virtual machines are connected with the availability sets option, let's say I'm using the availability set as a high availability option for my virtual machines. So there is one limitation of the AS. What is that limitation? Availability sets works under a particular region. So there is a regional dependencies of the VMs which is there in the availability sets. For example, if let's say I have three VMs as part of my cluster and all the three virtual machines are separated into different fault domains, their racks are different, let's say they are in three different racks. They have the update domains also defined, but these all things will be there in a particular region. So for example, if we have given UK South as a region for these three VMs, so these three VMs will be there in a particular data center of the UK South itself. So there will be one physical data center of the Microsoft, and in that physical data center, the VMs will be available. And these VMs can be separated into different fault domains as part of the availability sets option. But yes, they will be in the same physical data center. Now the thing is, if that particular physical data center in that UK South region goes down because of any technical issue or because of any outages, then what will happen? Then if the complete data center gets impacted, so my VM will also get impacted. They will be offline or they will not be accessible. There can be different situations. So in that condition, the availability set is not going to work and maintain the high availability. So if we have super critical environment where we cannot afford any kind of downtime, then we can go with the option of availability zones. So availability zone, what does it do? So it is going to deploy, or it is going to create the copies of my virtual machine into three different physical data centers of a particular region. For example, if we have UK South as a location, if we have chosen UK South as a region, so if I choose the availability zone option, the AJ, so it is going to create three copies of my virtual machine into three different physical data center. They all will be in the UK South, but they will be separated physically. So one VM will be here, another one will be here, another one will be into the third physical data center. And their distance will be around 120 miles with each other. Means one data center will be in the radius of 120 miles with another one. So it's very huge distance, and they all will be connected together as part of the high availability, as part of the HA. So in case if one server goes down because of any data center level outage, another two VMs will be available because they are available in the separate physical data centers. So that is what the availability zone is going to do. So let's go to the official document of the Microsoft ones and let's have a look into that. So see, so if you just go and search about what are availability zones, so here you will see here we have different region. Like region number one, it can be UK South. This another region can be US. This another region can be West Europe. So we have three different regions. And if you choose the option of availability zone, so it is going to create three copies of my virtual machine into a particular region into three different data center. So it is up to us how many copies we do want to create. If we want to go with two copies only, then we can choose two zones. Otherwise, maximum it can support up to three zones. So three copies can be created. One more thing that I would like to tell you is, in the case of availability zone, the server copies will get created, But when it comes to the workload which is running inside the server, so that workload is not going to get replicate. You have to create the workload on all these three servers. So either you can do it manually, or you can manage it via any script, via automation, or I have discussed about one of the option last time. So you can go with the extension. We can just use the CSV in order to replicate something. So we can just pass on the scripts via via the DSCs, and the replicas can be created accordingly. So companies have multiple options to create the replicas of the workload. The VMs will get replicated, VMs will get copied across three different data centers using the availability zone. So availability zone is going to protect my virtual machines from the data center level failures, because in the AS, when the complete data center goes down, so my VM is going to get impacted. But when it comes to the availability zone, if the data center goes down, so I still have the availability because two copies are running into two different physical data center. But again, here is a limitation. What is the limitation? The copies that you are running for the VM, they all will be in the same region again. So if we have chosen UK South as a region, so in the UK South, three copies are running. They are into three different physical data center, but they are into same region. They are into UK South. So if in the event of complete regional level outage, if the complete UK South goes down, then all these three physical data centers may get impacted. These three may also get impacted. And this will, of course, cause the downtime for my VMs. So what is the next solution to this problem? If the entire region goes down, what is the next solution? So the next solution is ASR. So ASR is one of the option that we can use, and it is very costly option as compared to AJ and AS, of course. So Azure Site Recovery, or ASR, is one of the option which is going to protect my servers from the regional level outages. So we will have this topic during the backup and restore sessions. When I will start the backup and restore series in Azure, then I will discuss the practical part of it. For now, we will discuss about AS, AJ, and VMSS only as part of the high availability. So now let's see the practical part of AJ. Let's see the practical implementation. So I will quickly jump to my Azure portal. And for this practical, what I'm going to do, so I will be creating the virtual machine into UK South region, and they will be into three different physical data center. So let's move to the portal, and I will quickly go over virtual machine options. Click on create, then go to Azure virtual machine. Here, the same thing, we have to fill out the description. So I will create a new resource group, and VM name I will give VM-01. Region I will go with UK South, and this time I will choose availability zone. So I will go with the availability zone option. And here there is one option, self-selected zone, where you can decide how many copies you want to create across what zones. And if you go with this option, so here the Azure is going to choose the best physical zone for you, the best physical data center for you in terms of considering the latency and everything. So this option is under preview. This is not completely launched by them, but yes, we can also use it. So I will go with self-selected zone, and in the availability zone, here we can choose the number of copies to be created. So if you check all these three boxes, so there will be three copies into three different physical data centers. So you can see, based on zone selection, we will place three virtual machines, one in each selected zone. So each selected zone basically means here one physical data center. So after choosing the zones, here you can see there will be change in the name of virtual machine. So it is going to create one VM with the name of VM-01-1. Second VM will be created with this name, and third VM will be created with this name. So if you want to edit these names, you can just click on edit names, and you can give the first VM name, let's say, as VM-01. For VM-02, I will give the second VM name as VM-02, and for third one, I will give it as VM-03. So three copies of the VM will get created into three different physical zones. Now click on OK. Rest of the options will be as it is. You have to decide your operating system, the size of the VM, and then provide the administrator account for managing it. So I will just set up the user ID and password here. Then choose the port details accordingly. Then next, and we just have to do next. So it is going to create 3 public IPs, you can see, for the remote access of the VMs, because we will have 3 VMs after the deployment is completed. So let's simply click on next and review plus create. So rest of the options will be as it is. We just need to choose the availability zone and choose the zone selection. That's it. So here there is some validation error. So what is the error? If you go to the networking, there is one cross. If you scroll down, so it has by default taken Azure load balancer. So we have to make it none because we don't have any Azure load balancer for now. And I have not discussed about the Azure load balancer right now. So that is why we can just choose it none. So it was by default selecting the Azure load balancer so that these 3 VMs are in 3 separate physical data centers. So just to manage the loads, it has taken the Azure load balancer. But we will discuss this in the future topic. So just click on none for now, then review plus create. Now it will run the validation again. So validation is successful. Now we can just click on create and let's wait for the deployment to get completed. So as you can see, the deployment is completed now. So if you further go to the virtual machine, so you will see 3 copies of the VM is there with the name as I mentioned VM 01, 2, and 3. These 3 VMs are in the UK South region and their sizes are also same because we have created the replica copies of the VM and these 3 are their public IPs. So if you just click on one of the VM, so you will see they all are in the availability zone. So this is in availability zone number 1. So zone number 1 basically means it is in data center number 1. And if you go to another one, you will see it is in zone number 2. See, and this one, if you just click, so it is in availability zone number 1. Second one is in 2. And if you go to the third one, it is in 3. So we have 3 different machines and these 3 are in 3 different availability zones. Even if you just go to the left side of one of the VM and if you just scroll down, so under the availability plus scale, if you just click on availability plus scaling, you can see the VM is in the availability zone and it is running in zone number 3. So these 3 are the VMs and they are in the same particular region. So this is how the availability zone works. Regarding the workload, if you will run any workload inside the VM, so you will have to set up the replica via scripts or via DSCs. So anything company can use, or manual also they can just run the workload. So that's their choice according to their business requirements. So with this, we have completed the availability zone topic. If you will have any further questions, you can drop me the message. So for now, we can just wrap it up. So hope you understood. Thank you very much for your timing. See you in the next session.